me back to Nana's table, where we laughed and talked all day. So long ago, love was offered. The joy of being together made you want to stay. Take me back to Nana's table.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Life with Nana. I'm Nana and I'm so glad you're here today. Today we're going to be in the kitchen and we're going to be prepping some breakfast foods so that this coming week we won't have to worry about cooking too awfully much for breakfast. Now I've done some breakfast sandwiches in the past and you've seen that on prior videos. I'm not going to do that this time. What I've got done so far is I have half of a pack of bacon cooked, but I'm going to let that cool for a little while. We'll get that in a Ziploc bag, and I have biscuits in the oven. You've seen me make biscuits a lot of times, so I didn't want to bore you with that. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and I'm so thankful for you. All of our subscribers, we're really growing, and I'm really excited about that, so welcome. And if you do want to see how I make biscuits, just go back in the playlist and look under home cooked foods. There is one where I do my version of whipping cream biscuits versus the way my mom would have cooked them. And so you could watch that one and you could see two different ways to do biscuits. But one thing that I did want to get done today is I want to make some granola. So if you have never made granola, it's very, very easy. And, you know, granola is really expensive in the store. But if you have a well-stocked pantry, which I talk about a lot, I had everything I needed before I even got started today. So the first thing you're going to need is 4 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. You do not want instant or the 1-minute kind. You want the long cooked version. So I'll put that in my pan. And then I have a cup and a half of chopped pecans. Also about a cup of sweetened coconut. And we're just going to kind of mix all this together. I started with a clean kitchen and clean hands, so we're just going to do it this way. All right, so I'm going to set this aside for a minute. And we're going to need a saucepan. Now, the first thing you're going to add to the saucepan is 1/3 cup of brown sugar. This is homemade brown sugar. And 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Grab my measuring. When I did this the other day, I just kind of sprinkled it. So it doesn't have to be exact. If you like cinnamon, you could put more. And if you don't like it, you could omit it or put less, whichever one you want to do. I have 1/2 cup of coconut oil. And so we're going to put that in. All right. We got the brown sugar. We got the cinnamon. We need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I never measure vanilla, guys. I just put whatever I think my heart wants in there. So this is supposed to be a really good vanilla. I can see the vanilla beans in it. That looks like a lot, but it's not coming out really fast. And it's Magnolia Star. I just got this at Sam's Club. And I also want to put in just a little bit of pure almond extract. Now, this does go a long way, so I am going to measure. I'm just going to put a little capful in there. That's going to make that be good. The next thing is 1/3 cup of honey. I can't find it on my recipe, what I'm looking for. 1/3 cup of maple syrup. Y'all, I tell you what. And then 1/3 cup of honey. And you can see how this is kind of crystallized at the bottom. I think I can get out what I need, but if I don't, I'll just grab the spoon and we'll go from there. Now I could set this in some hot water and it will go back to the right consistency. I'm not going to do that right now, but all right. And we need a pinch of salt. I think it calls for 3/4 of a tablespoon. So I'm going to just do that by my heart too there. Now I'm going to get this off. Let's see now. Do I have everything in here? It also calls for raisins and chocolate chips, but we're going to do that at the end. Now I'm just going to set this over here on the stove, and we're going to let this come up to a boil. And while we're waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and get my bacon bagged up. And I'm just going to get me some parchment paper. I love these little, this came from Dollar Tree, and I love these little pre-cut pieces. And as soon as the biscuits come out of the oven, we will be ready to put the granola in there. And then I'm going to put another batch of bacon in the oven. We're also going to make some waffles. Right, I have a gallon Ziploc bag here. And we're going to, I'll get another piece of parchment paper. I'll slide that down in here. Try not to get these stacked on top of each other. These will be so good for Papa to be able to just make him a sandwich really quickly. Now, I could go ahead and make the sandwiches, but it's not that big a deal for him to fry an egg and put some cheese on that egg if that's what he wants to do. But he did mention to me this morning he sure would like it if I would make some biscuits. So I thought, well, okay, we'll do that. Going to check on the biscuits. They're coming along nicely. Give this a stir. This won't take long to come together. It comes together really quickly. All right. So I just left my aluminum foil that I had over my pan over there on my mat because I am going to cook some more bacon in a little bit. So I'm going to put some parchment paper down, and you need a pan that has a pretty good little lip here. See, that's probably about a 1/2 inch, and I would really like it if I had a little bit bigger pan because when I made this the other day, it was kind of thick, but that made it. If you've ever seen that granola that's like chunky, I love that. That's what I had for breakfast this morning. It was so good. Okay, so let's see about this over here. That is up to a boil. And then all we're going to do is pour this in here. We're going to stir this around. We just want to get it all well coated so that each piece has a lot of that goodness on it. All right, that looks really good. I'm still having problems with this wrist, so I'm having to be careful. Can you hear Papa outside cutting grass? He's trying to beat the heat. It's going to get warm today. All right. Now what I like to do is just kind of put this around, push it down, get it as evenly spaced as possible. And as soon as those biscuits come out of the oven, we'll put this in the oven. And it needs to bake at 350 for about 20 minutes. But I found that I had to bake mine a little longer. So you just have to kind of keep looking at it, seeing what it, see if you like it, and depending on how you like things done. Those biscuits are looking so good. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator. Right now, I need to straighten up my refrigerator. We did a good job when we organized it, but you know how it is. Things get poked here and poked there. And now, we talk a lot of times about having a well-stocked pantry, and I've been trying all year to switch over from store-bought things to things that I can make at home. You can make waffles and pancakes at home at a fraction of the price, but I do have a partial box of Bisquick, and we're just going to try to get this used up today. All right, so let's get going on our waffles. I decided to make waffles because those will go in the toaster, and I had these cute little waffle makers, and they're hot because I have them on, and so that's what we're going to use. And I hope we can use up all of this mix, and I won't have to buy this anymore. I can make up my own. So simple. Yeah. All right, so the recipe calls for 2 cups. That might have been just a little bit more than 2. And a cup of milk. I've been eating the granola, so I bought some milk. 2 eggs. And 2 tablespoons of, this calls for vegetable oil, but I don't have any vegetable oil, so I'm just going to use olive oil. Put that over there. Now, it didn't call for vanilla, but I think I'm going to add some. I'm going to turn this around, wipe it off, and we'll get these waffle makers up on this. It probably wouldn't hurt. It probably wouldn't hurt the countertopping, but I don't really want to take a chance. Keep a close eye on those biscuits over there. All right, so. All right, so we're going to use about 1/4 of a cup. See how that goes. And the first two may or may not turn out perfect. You know how it is. You just do the best you can, and you try to get them as good as you can. We want to let them get just a little brown. These are going to be perfect. These are kind of like um, if you bought them from the store, uh, you could do them just like this. And then I want to make sure that I'm not letting them burn. That 1/4 of a cup is perfect. It's about to get there. These are called Nostalgia My Mini Waffle. So I think these will be cute to just let them cool, and then I may need something bigger than this to let them cool on. Let's put this back. And let's just get a cutting board. Wipe it off. That'll be good. All right. Look at that. How beautiful. Can you see? We're just going to lay those there. These are perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I love them. All right. Let's spray our little things again. And these are really relatively inexpensive if you go to Walmart. Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about being prepared because, we just never know what's going to happen. Now, I like to keep probably at least a 6-month supply of food. And some of that is freeze dried and just put away for long-term storage. And we have a lot of canned food. The other day when we made that soup, remember the last video, we made soup out of what was in the refrigerator. And I told you then, I said, this is going to make way too much. So what I did is, Papa said, why don't you just go ahead and can that up tonight? Just put it in the canner. So it was ready to can, and I put it in the canner in pint jars. I had 8 pints. So my canner over here, can't tell where I'm pointing. My canner over there it'll hold 7. So I canned 7 jars, and I took my mother-in-law a pint. So that's always good when you can do that. I also decided to can the kraut, and I know you're going to lose the benefits of the probiotics and all that, but I just every like freezer, refrigerator is at a premium right now. I don't have space to like stick it in there for a longer period of time, so I decided just to can it, get it on my shelf. It'll be delicious with some pork, and we'll have that with meals probably over the summertime. We have been. I can't wait to show you the garden. It looks wonderful. So being prepared for me means I have wheat berries and I have a grain mill that I can turn those into flour. I have extra flour, all kinds of flour, bread flour, all purpose, and self-rising. I have a 5-gallon bucket of each one. I also have a 5-gallon bucket of rice and a 5-gallon bucket of pinto beans and a 5-gallon bucket of white beans. Now, some of them are not completely full because, you know, I've been cooking out of. So I've been canning a lot of those and keeping them on the shelf. What else did I can that day? Oh, I did. I canned some beans because Papa had bought some butter beans that he was going to plant in the garden. Now, these came from the grocery store, so they weren't from a seed shop or anything. And so once he was finished planting, I said, well, I'll go ahead and can the rest of them. And I had 4 jars, and then I had some navy beans in my food storage. And so I filled up the canner with the rest of the way with the navy beans. And so now I have 7 jars of that hamburger stew that was so delicious. And I have 7 jars of sauerkraut that I can use as a side dish or use to flavor something. And I have 7 jars of beans that are canned. And those are you just open those up and use them. I love having canned foods in my storage over here. And my new little cabinet, if you saw the little short that I did about my new little cabinet for all of my freeze-dried stuff and my apothecary stuff, I love that because that gets that off of that shelf and it's all in one place and I can see it. I had so much stuff that was in a pantry closet. I mean, that closet is narrow and deep, and I just couldn't find anything when I went to look for it. So that's why I wanted to do that. All right, so while these are cooking, I'm going to straighten up a little bit. Back on the biscuits. They're getting there. Turn these over so they can cool on both sides and be nice and cool. And then when you put them in the when you put them in the toaster, they'll come out nice and crispy and then soft on the inside, and that's delicious. I love that. Whew. That is so hot, that steam coming off there, so we're going to be careful. And I'm also deliberately not browning these really brown because they're going to get some brown, when I put them in the toaster. I don't know exactly how many of these will make, but these will be put in a bread bag and put in the freezer. And I can get them out anytime and have that for breakfast if I want to. So it's going to be real nice when stuff starts coming in. That's been my goal over the last few videos, is to try to get things prepared that I can have ready to go as soon as I need it, because pretty soon we've got baby tomatoes out there, we've got baby cucumbers and squash and zucchini. So pretty soon that stuff's going to start coming in, and I'm going to be on full preservation mode. I'm just a simple country cook. I'm not a professional anything. I'm a mom, a grandmom, a wife. I just love doing this because it's something fun to do, and it's a fun way to connect with people. So don't forget, if you're seeing us for the first time and you haven't subscribed, go hit that subscribe button. It is absolutely free. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment. All of those things push our videos out into YouTube land. I don't know. They push it out to more people. And that's what we want it to do. So we want to get to more people who are kind of thinking the same way we are. Preservation. My channel is a lot about home cooking, preservation, and growing gardens. And here in the South, that's just the way my folks did it. My mom and dad had a garden almost every year that I can ever remember. My grandparents most certainly had gardens, and they canned a lot of food because that was the only way to keep it fresh. Here in the South, I mean, it doesn't start getting really cold most winters until January, February, and then you have a pretty cold spell going on. These are just turning out so cute. I am so tickled with these. And they're easy. This is something easy to do. Papa can make a sandwich with a couple of these. Uh, Me and my granddaughter love pancakes and waffles, so we could just have that. You could grab one of these for a snack and put a little cream cheese and um, jelly on it. Wouldn't that be good? I have tons of jelly that I need to be going through. Try to flip these so that they will cool evenly. Now, I'm going to turn this up on broil. Okay, I think our biscuits are ready to come out of the oven, so let's give them a check. Oh, yeah. Those are perfect. While I'm over here, I'm going to put the granola in. I've got to turn this back down. I'm going to open the door just for a few minutes because it is extremely hot in there. It's been on broil. I'm going to put some butter on top of these biscuits. All right, I think I can close that back up now. And I think these are almost ready. They are. I'm going to unplug that because these are done. So these are ready. We got 12, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I don't know how many you get in a box or whatever at the big stores, but that's what we've got here. Look how beautiful. Aren't those beautiful? And we have a full pan of biscuits, and we have a half a pack of bacon cooked, and we're going to have the other part of the bacon is going to be cooked. Right now I've got the granola in the oven, and so we're just waiting on it to get going. All right, our granola is ready to come out, so I'm going to get it out of the oven. Let me get this over here. We're going to add the other pieces to it. Look how beautiful and brown that is. And stir this around. Get what's on the edge to the middle. Because this pan is still hot, this is still going to cook a little bit. And while I was waiting for this to get finished, I went ahead and made some brown sugar. If you haven't seen that, you can go back to my very first video. Now, the next thing we need to do is we're going to put some raisins. And if you don't like raisins, you don't have to use raisins. You know what? I have a bag of craisins up here that I think I'm going to use instead. And that way I can get that out of here. One more thing out of my pantry that I don't normally buy, so that's a good thing. We're just going to keep stirring this and stirring this around. And we're going to add some chocolate chips to it. And it's going to be about a cup of each. We're going to put this on here kind of hot while the granola is hot, and these will kind of melt in and around all of that, and it'll be super good. All right. So I think that we have accomplished quite a bit today. I am going to go ahead and put, as soon as this cools off, I'm going to get it in a jar. So we wound up with 12 of the like Eggo brand waffles. That's what they remind me of, the Eggo brand. But these are homemade. And then we have 12 biscuits. And I have a whole pan of granola here that I think is just going to make some wonderful breakfast for Papa and I. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you'll come back. I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please do. It costs you absolutely nothing. And it really helps our channel to grow and our community to grow. And I really would appreciate it. Remember that Nana loves you. Nana's so, so proud of you. And you always have a friend here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, I thought I would let you see close up how these look. Don't these look wonderful? Beautiful pan of biscuits. Lovely, lovely waffles. And granola ready to go. We'll stir that all up and get it stored as soon as it gets cooled off. We also did bacon, which I'm going to do the other pack in just a moment. And then I even snuck in a little brown sugar. So I am very pleased with today's work in the kitchen.